in our season over a year ago, knowing that we would be in an election year, but not necessarily being able to foresee the particular political climate and how everything has unfolded over the course of this primary. But it has made this show incredibly relevant. Going and reading it again, working on it, and I think when you see it, the power of rhetoric, the power of words to sway a group of people is extraordinary in this play, and it is absolutely relevant to today. The idea of how much power is too much power, and is it possible to actually have a republic, and what does that mean, and is the ideal form of government the thing that we idolize in our heads, is that actually a reality, or is that to a falsehood? Because in Rome, of course, sure, it was a republic, but of course it was made up of the aristocracy. It's not a pure democracy in the way we would like to think. So yeah, all of these little things in this election season, it's definitely brought to light a lot of how relevant this Shakespeare play still is. It is about Julius Caesar, but he's actually the fourth largest character in the show by line load. So Brutus and Cassius are sort of our two principals. They're the ones, the primary conspirators, the ones that we follow. And then you've got Mark Antony. So if anybody in school had to memorize the big Friends, Romans, Countrymen speech, you can come and that's the one that you'll hear. And those are what we call the orations. So after the death of Caesar, the mob of plebeians, the common people, are very unruly, and they want to, they demand satisfaction, and so Brutus gets up and delivers this beautiful, eloquent, perfectly, rhetorically structured speech and wins them over, and then Antony gets up and kind of in a town hall style delivers this 1,000-word oration that completely changes the mind of the mob, and they burn Rome to the ground and start a civil war.
So the mob is another character in the play.
It absolutely is. And we've actually chosen to really highlight that in our production. We're doing a lot of mask work. So there's sort of greater ensemble. There are kind of three big moments in which the crowd is really important. The one is the very top of the show. We open with the Festival of Lupercal. And so everyone is costumed in these great sort of dog and wolf and goat masks, and they're having it's a fertility celebration and festival is what that is. The plebeians, our costume department has created these sort of Greek choral masks to very much make them an anonymous group, because it is with anonymity that you are able to commit these great atrocities, like tearing a man to pieces in the streets and burning a city to the ground. And then finally, when we get to the war, we've got the big full armor face mask that you're kind of with the big. This is my first Shakespeare tragedy to put on our stage, and I'm excited about it because you get to do fun things with tragedy. I get to say things in production meeting like. Can we sacrifice a goat at the top of the show? Can we try to track that down? Or, if I say the phrase, I want to set the stage on fire at the end of Act 1, what does that do to your brain? So I've had a good time, especially as a woman that often gets assigned, and lovingly so. I still love doing them. The comedies and the romances, I'm very anxious to get a chance to bite off a little tragedy with Julius Caesar.